Calling the meeting of the Bay County Board of Commissioners to order Tuesday, March 21st, Commission Chambers. Roll call, please.
Neiman. Here. Melvin.
Here.
Mollett.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Radke. Here. Hoyer.
Present.
Bigot.
Here. Invocation, please. Then the pledge. Please rise.
Lord, we ask that you grant to this Board of Commissioners and all those in authority the patience and understanding to work together for the good of all people. In your holy name we ask this. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the minutes from the 2/21/23 meeting.
So moved. Support.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda approval. We do have one item to add under Board of Commissioners. It would be number 8. It would be about our next meeting date, moving it. So number 8 on the third page under Board of Commissioners. So with that addition, looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, citizen input. We have quite a few citizens here. Thanks for coming. We have a 5-minute rule. You don't have to sign in. If you want to sign in, you can. It's not mandatory. And try to keep it to 5 minutes. And state your case and step forward. Who is number 1?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I am Shelley Niedzwiecki, 106 East Arnold Street, Bay City, and I am the 7th Ward City Commissioner. I just wanted to bring everyone aware, Mr. Bigot and I had a chance to talk this morning. Last night's City Commission meeting, we did pass a resolution offering support to find funding to keep the pool in operation. It's, at this time, it's not a promise of any funds, not saying that it wouldn't be down the road, but just asking for a chance to sit down and talk about what could be done, look for grants, outside sources for what you need. I just wanted to read that resolution to you for the record.
Sure.
Of Commissioner Niedzwiecki, whereas it is on the Bay County Board of Commission agenda for Tuesday, March 21st, to discuss closing the swimming pool at the community center. And whereas the pool is a valuable asset to all of Bay County, and whereas many Bay City and Bay County residents are expressing their feelings and desire to keep the swimming pool open, be it resolved that the City of Bay City Commission supports the community center swimming pool. We recognize this is a valuable asset to the community and desire the opportunity to assist Bay County in seeking the needed outside grant funding and form a plan of action to keep the swimming pool open for 2023 and many more years into the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Kathy Bramer. Can you hear me? Kathy Bramer from Munger, former clerk in Merritt Township. I'm here to discuss the proposed expansion of Camp Grayling. Currently, the size of Camp Grayling is...
Excuse me. So we have you on the agenda. You're next.
You do have it on.
Yeah, so
Okay,
you'll be next on the agenda. Anybody else on anything besides Camp Grayling?
Hi, I'm Catherine Hammy. I live in Bangor Township, and I'm asking the commissioners, this is in regards to the swimming pool, to please just table the issue. Give us some time. We were kind of blindsided that it feels like it's a done deal. It's very disappointing. I feel like it's a done deal, and we're just asking to please table it, give us time. There's grants out there. I researched the Spark grant, and it is eligible for outdoor swimming pools. It's a competitive grant, but it's available if we try. There's a basically community foundation wellness grant. Region 7, we got to look into Dow, DuPont, Saginaw, Chippewa, Indian Tribe. There's grants out there. We just need some time. If you could please just table it, it would be much appreciated. We're asking for collaboration with the city, the county, the YMCA, maybe the Boys and Girls Club, Region 7. There's ideas and options out there, and if we could get some grant money, some fundraising, maybe put a small millage on the ballot. We're a water community, and our health and safety of our kids and residents is number one, and we need a pool. This is the only public pool in our area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy Schell. I emailed most of you a couple days ago, and what I'm going to do is just read what I wrote so that people here can hear what I had to say. My feeling is that a pool is an important part of a community that will attract people here. So if we are to attract and retain young professionals and their families, our community needs to provide the amenities they desire. A pool is one of these. Additionally, it is important to provide opportunities which promote healthy lifestyles and exercise to our current residents. Many can't afford or don't want a Y membership. It appears that, as county commissioners, you are making a decision to eliminate the only community pool in Bay County. Without the input of the citizens, this decision affects. If the concerns about the cost to repair and replace the pool would have been shared with the community earlier, I feel a committee could have been formed to help raise the needed funds. Much like was done with the tennis courts on Park Avenue and the pickleball courts in Carroll Park. And I know this has been an ongoing issue that's been discussed since 2009. And it doesn't appear that there's been a lot of maintenance or funding for maintenance in the budget. Have you investigated the grants available? Was any of the COVID money from Washington considered for this project? Were the maintenance issues that sound like they're significant continually addressed in a timely manner before costs became so prohibitive? Did you reach out to community members before proposing the pool closure? If so, what alternative possibilities for teens and tweens and teens were considered? To address community concerns, these are the types of questions that need answers before moving forward. As far as the decline in pool use, I feel many in our community are not even aware the pool exists, especially after COVID closures and the lack of operating hours last summer. A more robust outreach program could be helpful. Furthermore, partnering with organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club, Scout troops, and et cetera, could also be helpful and bring people in. Learning to swim is an important life skill that should be available to all at an affordable cost. The decision to close the only community pool in Bay County is significant and warrants input from those affected. I sincerely hope that you and all the commissioners will reconsider this decision, at least table it, and allow more community voices to be heard before finalizing the future of the community center pool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this the part where I address what I'm addressing?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you
You're
guys.
on.
So hello, my name is Raymond Barber. I'm from Frankenless Township. Tom, you're my commissioner, I think? Yes. Hi. But I came here in regards to the pool, as I assume many of the community members have. I just wanted to make my thoughts known that, I never knew this pool even existed. But with that being said, I've had a lot of friends that I've grown up with who have lived on fixed incomes and who wanted to have those experiences to do what everyone else does, go somewhere for free, be able to swim, especially in that area, making it accessible. The pool, I could see being something for that for people. And it would be an awful shame to have it taken away. I'm very politically engaged. Some of you might know me. I've traveled all over this country, going to be politically active as much as I can. And, I didn't know about this. But you guys, as commissioners, have a chance to let the public have comment over this, to let them know what you've been doing. Because I know you guys have been doing the work day in, day out, probably every month for however many years. But the community just learned about this. And if it's happening this meeting to close this down right now, well, that's not really taking input from your constituents who are sitting right here, and the many more who are probably concerned talking about the story right at home. So I ask that I second what everyone else has been saying so far, and please table this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Chris Basmajan, Bay City. I apologize for arriving late, and so I don't want to repeat everything maybe that you've already heard, but I do want to urge you to table this for further discussion. I understand that, we might be far along and it might be a done deal, but the issue is that the public hasn't had a chance to input with that. Having had some experience in dealing with closing or changing hands of large assets, I understand that it can be difficult, but I also understand that every option needs to be explored before a final say has been said. So whether that's searching for grants, community funding, state, federal, being creative in funding options, all those things need to be looked at, and giving the community an opportunity to voice their thoughts and give you their ideas, because there could be things that haven't been thought of. And if they have been thought of and they're not viable, they're just giving them the option to know that those have been thought out. It's just really important. It's for them to be a part of it. The community center has been around for a long time. When I first moved to Bay City in 1987, that was one of the first places I went and where I met some of my first friends. It's where my daughter had her swimming lessons when she was a little girl. We've always spent a lot of time over there and in the neighborhood. And as a city resident, it's just, West Side, it's always what we have done, and with the kids, like a rite of passage for the kids. And I know beyond that, there's a lot of other activities that take place there as far as training and classes and lessons and things like that. So like I said, maybe it's too far gone, but I think that everyone needs the opportunity and the option to really spend some time searching out all the possible alternatives. So I thank you for your time, and hopefully that we can make some good progress with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Way in the back there.
Hello, kids. My name is Brian Kraus. I am the Executive Director at Habitat for Humanity. And I'm actually not talking about the pool. I hope that's okay. I'm just meeting a lot of you guys for the first time, and I just want to let you guys know that Habitat for Humanity is getting ready to build 4 brand new houses in Bay County. There'll be affordable houses. They will cost well over $200,000, but we'll be selling them to people for around $120,000, $130,000. So families that are Alice families and stuff will be able to afford them. We also, for veterans, we are, within the next 3 years, we'll have over $1.5 million in funding to help veterans with critical home repairs, and we'll also be building some houses for them. So if anybody knows of a veteran that needs help, make sure they get a hold of Habitat for Humanity, and we'll be doing that. In the last 3 years, we've done over 165 critical home repairs for people, including new roofs, electrical. We put over 70 furnaces in. We've helped over 60 veterans with major repairs, and we've never charged them a penny to do that. And we're going to be getting ready to hire 2 new employees in Bay County with building these houses. We're building hiring a new grant writer and project manager, and we're always looking for volunteers. So I just kind of wanted to introduce myself to you all and say thank you very much. I will say, though, when I was a kid, I did love that pool. I did swim in it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Henry Shanebeck, 14 years old. I go to John Glenn High School, and the community center has been a very big part of my life. It's been what I've been looking forward to all school year, going into my summer. And last year, was my last year doing the community center. I did the rec program. I learned to swim a little bit there. I took some swimming lessons, which I very much enjoyed. And I swim for the Bays team, and I've been swimming there all summer long. And since I was little, I was swimming in that pool, and it's a big part of this city. And this summer, I'm looking, if it still ends up being open, I am going to be lifeguarding, and I want to be there to support the pool. And I think if you give this pool a chance, it could be a big part of other kids' lives, same as it touched mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Faye Smith. Do I need to give my address? I'm kind of out of it here. 1817 Center Avenue.
You don't have to do it if you don't want.
Oh, well, I just did. I'm not.
Your name is fine.
We moved here in 1973, and we have seen so many wonderful things happen in Bay City since that time. Like, I'm always amazed when I come from the west side to see the river on the east side. It was so ugly and so disgusting when we moved here, and now it's just a joy to come across Veterans Bridge and see what has been done down there. I am also vice president of CANA, Center Avenue Neighborhood Association, which is a bit of a misnomer because it's not just Center Avenue. The historic district goes, and I should know off the top of my head, but I don't, but it goes south like to Columbus, and then includes Carroll Park area, so it includes 800 dwellings. And we are concerned with the old houses and preserving those because they are such an asset to Bay City. People know about us all over the state. We have people retiring here that come from out of state because it's such a wonderful place to be. There's so much to do here, and the housing is so affordable, really, by other standards. So that takes me to the swimming pool. I think it is a tremendous asset for Bay City and something that really needs to be preserved, if at all possible. We have a daughter who swam there with Mike from the time she was 8 until she was in college. She would come home in the summers and swim there with bays. And so, I mean, it's just a wonderful asset. It gives kids such an outlet for summer activities, and for all the kids, even if you're not in the swim team, it's a wonderful place to spend your hot afternoons in the summer. So please consider tabling it and coming back to it and giving us more chance to approach you.
Thank you. Any more comments? Any more comments? I'm going to do it 3 times. Beat the bell.
Dive in, pardon the pun. I know the suspense is building as I write my address in on here.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously here to speak about the pool and my concerns with the situation. And just to reiterate maybe some of the points that were raised earlier that I may have missed because I was late, my apologies. But, you know, I want to urge this commission and the county to look at all avenues possible via partnering with municipalities, via looking for grant money to save, refurbish, and keep the pool in some way, shape, or form for the current generation and for future generations to use. You know, I know for a fact Midland has recently, I think it was in the last couple of years, a $1 million grant to do work on their pool. They have a lovely facility. Every year we're competing with the surrounding areas, Midland more specific, to bring people and business here to Bay City. Okay, so if we do away with that one amenity, does it handicap us, cripple us when pursuing people moving and businesses moving to the area? It kind of does. That's one less amenity we have to offer. I've been a nomad, traveled all around the world and all around the United States my entire life. And one thing that I've always noticed in communities that were of a good upstanding and very thriving and stuff was the amenities that it offered its community, one of these being a public pool, okay? On top of that, I think this speaks to an even bigger problem, and that's the lack of investment in our infrastructure and our facilities. What's going to be next that's going to come down the line where the general public here is going to get a last minute notice that, guess what, the county's going to take away this or take away that because for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we've just let it slip to the wayside, not maintaining it because of some perceived lack of use. So on top of that, in addition to urging the commission to pursue avenues to save this pool, I want you guys to look and get ahead of what other resources out there in the community are in risk, jeopardy of being done away with, and how can we get ahead of the ball and prevent that from happening. So let's start being proactive about maintaining our resources, pursuing avenues of funding and support, not just, you know, county-wide, state-wide, but nationally, okay? I know I work in project management. I've worked in project management for almost 15, 16 years now for federal facilities. These things just don't sneak up on you, okay? There's little inklings here and there of general maintenance stuff that needs to be done to prevent situations like we have right now. And I don't want to see that happen to this pool. I don't want to see this happen to any of the other resources in the county that's going to handicap us for future development and for future businesses and people to move to our fine community. So thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right. So
I didn't use all of my time. Can I go back?
we probably should let everybody else speak first. That's our board rules that we have here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Holly Watson, Launder Township. I'm just going to read the impact statement that I sent to the city commissioners who were kind enough to reach out to me. Oh, do you have it? I'm running in support of keeping the Bay County Community Center pool open. Please share this pertinent information with county commissioners, community center director, and any citizens of Bay County who are against the cost of continuing to fund the community center pool. Area swim coaches have always believed that swimming is a life skill first and a sport second. Continuing to fund a public pool has numerous positive effects on our entire community. Pools provide opportunities for education purposes, swim lessons, scuba dive lessons, competitive swim teams, and rescue dive training. The pool can be used as a place for rehabilitation to assist individuals with medical conditions and/or injuries. It's a cost-friendly place for families to come together to escape on a hot summer day. Pools are not just for social interaction. In Michigan, we are always 6.2 miles or less from a body of water. Drowning is the #1 cause of injury-related death for children ages 1 to 4, and the #2 cause for injury-related death for children ages 5 through 14, second only to car accidents. Drownings are preventable. Learning to swim is the first defense. Community pools also assist in combating child obesity in at-risk areas such as Bay County, where child obesity rates continue to rise. So in closing, we're just asking for everyone to come together to find a solution to save our pool and to please table this for now. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's number 1.
I don't have a speech prepared, I apologize, but I'm coming here to speak on behalf of the pool as well. And I've been a swim coach, or have been a swim coach in this community for a long time. I swam for people behind me. I see one of my swimmers sitting up there, all right? And I've watched over the years kids go off to college and get scholarships because of this. I've watched lives be changed. And I think there's a lot of short-sightedness going around right now. There's a lot of slash and burn. Let's just get rid of it. If you close it, you're not going to get it back. You won't. I talked to my grandma, who was instrumental in a lot of this. It took decades to get that pool built. And if you're in this spot right now, you're not going to get it back. Once you fill it in, it's gone. Okay? Number 2. If you look at civilizations, they're known by their infrastructure. The Romans, the Greeks, etc. Those people that destroy, they're the ones that we don't want to look at in history. The ones that build things are the visionaries. If I were you, I'd be trying to build the best facility I can. Why try and destroy it? Is that what you want to be known for? Because I want to tell you this is just a small sampling of what's being spoken about this issue in the community. What's right here. This is a little tiny room. Social media is awash with comments about this, and they're not positive about closing it. Okay? So where do you want to be? There's kids that rely on this pool. I was a lifeguard there for a long time. That pool was packed. I worked 60 hours a week at that pool. 60 hours a week to put myself through college. I watched other people put themselves through Michigan State by being a lifeguard there. And the reason why is because there was kids there all day. And they could afford to go there. And it wasn't some country club or something like that. It was open to everybody. And you want to know what? Once the pool closed, I spent another 2 hours there coaching swim lessons because swim lessons were packed. You want the pool to stay open, open it up. Think through this. Why am I going to choose, and I was a public school teacher, and I heard that, schools are struggling for enrollment right now. Why? Because people are moving elsewhere. And where are they going? Where there's infrastructure, where there's jobs, where there's things going on. So if I'm a young family, which I have 2 young children here in this community, why do I want to stay? Where's my kids going to swim? I look back here, I see swim parents. I see generations of people that were impacted by that pool. What are they now? Teachers, business owners, project managers, public servants. That's how this affects people on a human level. I don't know what else to say, but thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's number 1. Anybody else? That's number 2. Last call. Close public comment at this point in time. Thank you. Thank you all for commenting and coming. We'll move on to a presentation on Camp Grayling, opposition to expansion. Now it's your turn.
I apologize. Kathy Bramer from Munger. Currently, Camp Grayling is 148,000 acres, or 230 square miles. They're the largest National Guard training facility in the entire nation. Now they have asked the DNR for an additional 162,000 acres of our public land in the form of a lease. This would more than double their size. My husband and I have a cabin on the north branch of the Asabo River. We are fairly close to the bombing range of Camp Grayling. We hear and feel the bombs as they go off during training. We hear and see the aircraft that fly overhead at low altitudes. The noise is significant, yet we accept it. We accept it because we feel it's our responsibility to have trained troops. So we accept the current training of Camp Grayling. I tell you this because we're not anti-military. We're anti-expansion. And that's a big difference. Not anti-military, anti-expansion. The commander of Camp Grayling repeatedly has said to us, do we use all the land that we currently have and occupy? No, we don't. No, they don't use all the current 148,000 acres they have, but we need another 162,000 acres. Why? That's our question, why? And we have not received any verifiable information as to why they need these additional lands. The expansion goes as far south as Roscommon County. Roscommon County houses, Higgins and Houghton Lakes. There's many people from Bay County that have cabins in those areas. There's many people from Bay County that take a day trip to those areas. We're very blessed in Bay County to have the north so close to us. We hop on I-75 or US 23, and in an hour to 2 hours, we're there to enjoy northern Michigan, pure Michigan, as our state advertises. And that's how we want to keep it. We want to keep it available for all, pure Michigan. I'm asking you to consider adopting a resolution to oppose the expansion of Camp Grayling. You have in front of you a map with red on it. The red squares show in total 51 counties, townships, road commissions, and health departments that are opposed to this. They have written resolutions of opposition to the expansion. 100% of the governmental units within the expansion area itself, 100% of them have written a resolution to oppose Camp Grayling. Yet the DNR director, who makes the final decision on this, continues to consider this resolution. You'll notice to the east is Tuscola County, our neighbor, and they are in red now. They adopted a resolution to oppose this expansion last week, and Huron County, it has it on their agenda for next week to vote on it. I would love to see my home area of Bay County red on this map. I have sent a resolution in, and I hope that you will seriously consider adopting this resolution to oppose the expansion of Camp Grayling and to make a motion to go forward with that. I thank you for your time and consideration, and I would like you to hear from my friend and colleague Mike McNamara, who is a retired lieutenant colonel with Camp Grayling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Knight.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jim Knight. Mike is going to follow me here. I'm an elected official from Bear Lake Township in Kalkaska County. And currently, as Kathy has stated, that this is the largest training area in the country. In my township, there are 17 square miles that are set aside for training. And during Northern Strike, which is an annual event in the area, I experienced, as many of my constituents did, saw the clear military presence that was not normally in the training areas, particularly, and you're going to see these pictures of an Ohio National Guard unit that was going down the Manistee River on a training op. And this is in the flies only, or the holy water considered by the Manistee River and the fly fishermen. Also, there was 2 Chinook helicopters that were flying over one of my constituents, and they were doing low altitude training that day, and we still haven't found out why that is. But one of the comments we did hear back was because we were given a map and we were told we could train there. And it was clearly in the expansion area that they are asking for, so they really pushed the military presence. So like Kathy said, we are going from county to county. Mike and I have been to the Thumb area. We are hoping to possibly go to Sanilac and St. Clair counties. We would like to see the map turn red from the Thumb all the way to the bridge, which Sheboygan County touches the bridge. We would certainly like to see your support. Hopefully you can get that on your agenda and get this through. Right now, as Kathy has stated, the director of the DNR has the say-so to put this forward, and right now we're waiting for that decision. We've heard that they are talking to the tribal people right now. So we are taking the advantage of this lull time to get more counties involved, to show Lansing and the people that really are pushing for this, that we do not want this in northern Michigan. And not only us, but anybody that's in this room that goes up and recreates in the tens of thousands that go up in our area and possibly could have places up north. They may not know about this, and that is a very deep concern for us. They have the right to know what's going to happen or potentially is going to happen in there. If we continue our crusade in getting these counties on board, the word will get out and the media will tell the story of just exactly what's going on up there. So if you would please consider that, opposing this in a resolution, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go. I got questions. Are you going to talk first? Go ahead, talk first.
No, go ahead.
You can go back to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just in case. I heard about this, but what is so this is all federal land that they're talking about, right? Is this federal land they want to?
It's public land, 162,000 state land.
So did they say why I heard about the expansion, but I don't know why.
Well, they say they need it for training. They need it for training, but we have not seen the reasons why they need it in writing. Right now they have 230 square miles or 148,000 square acres to train on. A significant amount of that acreage that they have is not even being used. So we know that for a fact. Approximately 70,000 acres are not being used by the camp right now. So we cannot see any reason why they would ask for 162,000 acre in addition, which would give them 483 square miles to train in and essentially turn northern Michigan into a militarized training area.
And if I can add to your question, sir, my name is Mike McNally. The biggest reason they want to add to it is because in front of you, you have an article from The Business Magazine. The Business Magazine talks about, the Post Commander and the Adjutant General, Paul Rogers, talk about the abundance of land that they have right now, and they're renting for a disgustingly inexpensive rate of $150, that's a quote in the magazine, for $150 a day for 3,000 acres. So experimental military equipment, lasers, electronic warfare, and who knows what else can be used on our public lands. That's really the big thing, sir. I think Jim didn't really quite get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's that D-Business Magazine article. It's electronic warfare, and today it's electronic warfare. And if you just Google that, you can get an idea of what we're talking about. It's the health and welfare of the people within the area, and for God knows what's going to happen to the environment. Camp Grayling has a very poor record of environmental endeavors or the lack thereof. So that's what our concerns are, not only from the environment. We have 3 river systems, the Muskegon, the Manistee, and the Osable River systems, and the thousands of acres of public land that they want to have access to. And in light of the PFAS contamination in Crawford County, we don't want anything else happening in this pristine areas and the area where we recreate in, and probably you do too.
Were you stationed up there?
Pardon me?
Were you stationed up there?
He is.
Oh, okay. So you see, what do you see different though? How has it changed? Did they do anything different now than they did 10 years ago?
Other than opening up all the public land for 4 businesses, that's the major change. That's the major change. The artillery ranges are the same. The smaller arms ranges are the same. The mortar range, all that's the same. The difference is that there's a move afoot to turn that into a proving ground, and we don't know what's really going to happen. They claim it's for soldiers, but even when the DNR director made a public comment during a hearing for the Rural Development and Agriculture Board to Ken Borton, our state senator, she talked about electronic warfare or electromagnetic testing. She sure did talk about training. So it's not about the soldiers, it's about these for-profit businesses. And if we look at Aberdeen Proving Ground or all the other Army proving grounds that are out there that are already Superfund sites, those are already contaminated. That's where these training lands should be at, not in our public, taken away from all of us, our public lands. I kind of got off topic a little bit, but did I answer your question, sir?
That's great, thank you. I learned a lot just now.
And sir, my name's Mike McNally, and I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, and I'm a legacy soldier as well. My dad also retired as a colonel from Camp Grayling and worked in the National Guard. He did 38 years, I did 28 years. I'm a combat veteran, and if I thought for 1 minute, this would save one soldier's life, I'd be the first person to stand in line and support this expansion. But it's not about training the soldier. It's about turning, like I said, turning Camp Grayling into a proving ground or a like proving ground. And even in that The Business Magazine, they talk about these contractors, these testers, talk about the ability to do stuff without someone looking over your shoulder. Now that's twofold. You don't have environmental folks and you don't have range control folks, Camp Grayling folks looking over your shoulder, but you don't have big government contracting officers looking over your shoulder what you're really doing. There's some pictures floating around there, and I'll explain those in a little bit. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to see them. Those pictures are from the lack of what they're allowing soldiers to do right now. Camp Grayling has no control of what's really happening. There are good neighbor policies that they're violating daily during training. They have troops going down rivers that are not training land with machine guns, even though they are blanks. How would you like to be the little old lady drinking her toddy Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock and seeing that going through in your front yard? That's not training land. I mean, if that was training land, she bought it, she ought to suck it up. That's not it. That's not even training land. That's just regular old state land with private property on the river intermixed with it. You see some pictures of concertina wire, and my buddy's dogs, high school classmate of mine, his dogs got torn up because concertina wire, which is razor wire, ma'am, just like outside of prisons, was left. Now, we all make mistakes, but this isn't a onesie and twosie thing. I've pulled up hundreds and hundreds of yards, and Skeeter, the guy that owns the dogs, has done the same thing and hooked that wire on the back gate because they leave it there. And that's one of the violations that the DNRs, if they have a couple of those right in the contract, right in the lease, if they do that, they lose the lease. But nothing's ever documented, nothing's ever enforced. It's just never followed through. You wonder why there's pictures of Army and Marine trucks going up and down this blacktop road. Why is that a big deal? Just because it's parked right next to a sign that says no military vehicles. I pay a special assessment, that's my road. I pay a special assessment because it's Grayling, we have 85% public land, so any road that gets paved, we have to pay for. I'm not so petty to say that somebody can't use the road, but they don't pay tax on fuel, they don't follow their own public policies. So that's kind of the point. I could go on, I could write a dissertation, but there's things in Bay County that are happening, as I heard this morning, or this afternoon, that are near and dear to your heart. Why does Bay County really care about the Camp Grayling expansion? It's been said, the Ross County, Crawford, Kalkaska is Bay Counties. I know you guys barely have any public state land here. That is your first avenue, your first ability to recreate without being impeded upon. The Guard has said a number of occasions, nothing will change, we won't block off any roads, we won't put up any fences, we're not going to put up any buildings. But they use key buzzwords like, our intent is not to, we don't plan to. Coming from a kid that grew up and born and raised in Grayling, I've watched lakes get blocked in. The only people who have access to them are full-time employees that work for the Guard. I can show you 5,000 red picket signs that say no ORV because it's Guard property and we don't want you guys to use state land, but that is public land. So I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here. Camp Grayling has not provided one documented reason. If I was going to make eggs in the Army, there's a book that's this thick on how to make eggs. If we're going to talk about documentation and the reasons why that Camp Grayling needs this land, they study things to the nth degree. There is no documentation been provided, or that's out there in my research, and this question has been asked at every public meeting. There is no documentation of why they need this. They say they need it for electromagnetic warfare training, but again, they won't tell you that, won't give you anything because it's really about these contractors. So they say it's a need. Yes, sir, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. I ask you to do a resolution supporting the rest of the 51 communities. Thank you.
That is a presentation. Other questions? Anybody else have questions here, by the way? I just have a quick comment. So I made a call today. The DNR director has not made a statement yet. He was supposed to do it at the end of February, but he didn't do it yet. I contacted MAC, Michigan Association of Counties. As you know, I'm on the board. MAC has not taken a position on this yet. They are looking at it. They're waiting for the DNR statement, basically. And so I think I talked to you about receiving, I think receive, and then we'll look at it, and maybe we meet again in a couple of weeks, we can see where things are at, and if the DNR director comes out, and if the Native American group comes out against it too, then we can make a decision. I would just need a motion to receive, I guess, if that's okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Next item of business, City of Bay City, application for an obsolete property rehabilitation exemption certificate, DS Denham Properties LLC. Motion to receive would be in order. Support. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, now we have a request for appointment to Bay Arenac Behavioral Health Authority. There are 4 3-year terms. 1 unexpired term commencing upon appointment and expiring March 31st, 2024, so a 1-year term. So we have received several applications. I just want to add that the Bay Arenac Behavioral Health Board has a nomination committee. They have reviewed the eligibility of all 14, and they have found them all to be eligible for appointment. So I guess it would be a combination to receive the request for appointment and the report from Bay Arenac Behavioral Health Nomination Committee.
Support.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. So we have to make 4, we think we're going to break it into 2 sections. We're going to do the 4 3-year terms first of all. So everybody gets 1 vote for each, excuse me, you get 4 votes, you get 4 votes. Now, there is a proviso. We have elected officials. We have 3 already, so we're only allowed to make 3 appointments of elected officials, just so you know, okay? That's the only restriction we have right now. They have enough of the category B or the receiving care category. So, are there any questions? We have people here that can answer those questions. Does everybody understand what we're going to do? We're going to do 4 names. Everybody picks 4 names. Has to receive 4 votes, just a majority, simple majority. And then we'll move on to the 1-year term. Any questions? Heather looks a little troubled. This is our attorney on it. She wrote a nice write-up on it. It's a little complicated, but I think we figured it out.
You covered all the bases with
Yeah.
respect to the restrictions,
Yeah.
with respect to the public officials and the commissioners, so.
Make sure we do the right thing.
Yep.
So Mr. Poyer, our Sergeant at Arms, is going to mark them up here, so make sure you enunciate clearly so you can hear. And I don't know which order, do you have an order which we want to go in?
We can just start at the first district.
First, right away, the first.
Yeah.
So if you want to
Yep, okay.
call them off, we'll start with number 1.
Nemec,
Okay, I can get.
4, yeah, pick 4.
Tim Benazak. Jerome Crete. Kathy Nemec. And let's see, where am I? Marie Reese.
I do want to point out that commissioners can vote for themselves. We've checked that out, and that's allowed, so you can vote for yourself. Okay.
no, you're good.
Okay, don't erase.
Yep, yep. Benajak,
Yeah, Bonanzac, Jerome Crete, Kathy Nemec, and Marie Reese.
okay. Millet,
Jim Anderson, Colleen Millet,
Millet.
Rick
5.
Meath,
7.
Hold it. Did you get the third one?
7.
You got 2.
Number 7.
I have Anderson, Millet, Meath, Ryder.
11. Herrick,
We agree.
Anderson, Millet,
5.
5.
Meath,
7.
7, yeah.
and Ryder.
11.
11.
Radke,
Anderson, Millet, Meath, and Peters.
Poyer,
Benazak, Crete, Nemec, and Reese.
Begic,
Benajak, I'll get that down someday. Crete, Meath, no, excuse me, sorry, going down the line here. Reese and Nemec, number 8. Right there. So let's have the clerk read the results off, I guess.
okay. So 3 votes for Anderson, 4 votes for Benajak, 4 votes for Crete, no votes for Kowalski-Meyer, 3 votes for Millet, no votes for Mastromoni, 3 votes for Meath, 4 votes for Nemec, 1 vote for Peters, 4 votes for Reese, 2 votes for Ryder, no votes for Schwinn, no votes for Schutt, no votes for Taylor.
So,
4.
So yeah, we're going to read the,
So it looks like the names who are elected is Benajak, Crete, Nemec, and Reese. Is that what you got?
They
Jim?
agree? So we need a motion to accept those appointments.
Motion to approve the appointments.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we're going to do the one-year term, so you can erase now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So does it start over, or are the people who got no votes, are they just out now? Just vote for the people who got votes? Because that's what we used to do. Everybody else got X'd out if they got no
Right,
votes.
so I would say the zeros and the ones we probably should drop. I should have mentioned that before. Is that okay with the board if we drop the zeros and, no?
No.
Because we're moving on to the one-year term where the unexpired term, I think that all of these individuals would have an
leave 'em
opportunity
up.
to be voted on because it's for the unexpired term versus the full-term positions.
So we'll leave them all out.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know.
But just vote for one.
Yeah, just one vote per commissioner.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. Millette. Yeah, that's all, just one.
Wait, I'm sorry, so were you just voting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll vote.
Okay.
Don't pick me
Okay.
last.
Sorry. Nemec,
Millet.
Benajak,
Millet.
Millet,
Millet.
Herrick,
Millette.
Radke,
Malat.
Poyer. We already have the Gets vote, so Commissioner Millet, it's the unexpired term. Thank you.
So we need a motion to approve the election and appoint her. Support? Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Okay. Okay.
Did we just receive the results? Is that what just a yes or no?
Sorry.
Did we receive the results?
We received both the four
I just want to make sure we
full
got
terms
that part
and
done.
the
Yeah.
unexpired term. Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
That's all. Thank you.
All right, so we have Melvin McNally as the incumbent, request for reappointment to Region 7 Area on Aging as Bay County Representative, and
Support.
he must be doing a good job because nobody filed against him. So I guess we just need a motion to appoint Melvin McNally to the
Support.
Region 7. Okay, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Melvin is appointed. All right, Ways and Means. Mr. Benajak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution number 2023-34, discontinuance of the Bay County Household Assistance Program.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, Bay County, no, go ahead. You read it. It's all right. Good job.
Resolution number 2023-35, Bay County Community Partnership Grants for year 2023. I move to approve this resolution.
For discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Resolution number 2023-36, travel request for 2023 National WIC Conference with WIC Manager. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 4.
Resolution number 2023-37, Community Center Pool Closure. I move to approve the resolution.
We have support?
Support.
Okay. Discussion? Mr. Herrick.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had a long time to think about this, I actually told my wife today before I left, I said, I have a hard time spending $50, on the spot. So it was nice to have a little time to think about this whole pool closure thing and what it means to the community and the people in general. And then I got to thinking, back in the day, which would have been a long time ago for me, my kids took swim lessons at the community center. They rode their bikes there every day from the south end with their neighbors. And I remember driving by there sometimes at night and seeing, boy, that water it just looks so pretty. It's like right up to like one of those infinity pools, it's a great thing. And then I'm thinking, boy, our kids, what are we doing for our kids these days? They got nothing. And I venture into the schools once in a while as a substitute teacher, and I look at a lot of these kids, and they have nothing to do a lot of times when they get out of school. And summertime is worse. They're, at least school, they're busy during the day. In the summertime, the things that they can find to do are sometimes not good. And this is something that, gives them a little something. I mean, we have the Y and they have the Boys Club, but the pool is a different kind of meeting place. And I agree that when one of the people came up and said, they talked about the community and, when people come into the community, what do they see? We got that beautiful band shell down there. We got the riverfront on that side, and we had the pool on the other side. And granted, it needs some work. There's no doubt about it, but we just got rid of the household assistance program, and there's a little bit of money there. And I think, I wasn't sure, 2 weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure now that I think we're jumping the gun on this as a commission. I've been on the commission for a few years now, and one of the things that I always said I do is I'm going to listen to the people, because they're the ones. This is your community. It's our community. We're all in this together, and if we don't listen to you, then we have no community. I mean, and I've got enough phone calls and mail where I say I'm going to go with what the people want. It doesn't matter sometimes what I want, what I think is best. I got to go with what the people want. They're the ones who put me here, not nobody, just the people. And they might not be in my district, but doggone it, I knocked on a lot of doors, and I saw a lot of people that gave me a lot of input as to what we should do. And I've seen many people over St. Patrick's Day weekend, and without asking, they knew who I was, and they gave me what they thought we should be doing as a community with this pool. And I get it now, I know it costs money. Everything costs money, but doggone it, it's our place. It's our home. We're going to try to make it a little bit better. So I'm voting to keep this damn pool open.
Next, Casey.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
2 weeks ago, you brought up that you reached out to the MAC to identify other counties that have a pool.
Yeah.
How many other counties have a pool?
I've heard 3 or 4. Somebody mentioned it the other day. I tried to get the exact number. Somebody said Lapeer had one. They don't have one. I don't know if anybody else has that. I tried to get the information. I don't know if Kristen maybe. There aren't very many that have their own public pool.
So there aren't many. So this sets us apart from the rest. We hired Phil Ike to tell our story. This is part of our story. This is going to keep the current residents, but it's also going to attract new residents to our area.
Thank you. Colleen's up next, yes.
Mr. Chair, my phone's been ringing off the hook about supporting this endeavor, that we hold off on making any decision today, and I'd be willing to make a motion to table this item. I don't know if we can do it now.
Table has precedence, so we will go to a vote on the motion to table. We'll have a roll call vote.
Jack?
No.
Millette?
Yes.
Herrick?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Poyer?
No.
Nemec?
No.
Begay?
No.
So it's 3 yeas, 4 nays. Motion
So we're
passed.
back to discussion on the main motion. Mr. Herrick has his hand up.
I think take some time and meet with these other community members that are our community and work for a solution. The city has stepped forward already, and, I believe in the end, there would be some monetary support from them also. I don't know how much, but it's the right thing to do. I mean, if you're a community-minded person, I don't know how you let this go, how you let this happen. That's the best I can say. It's our community. So I want to see us work with the other people.
Anybody else? Kathy?
I grew up on State Park Drive, and we used the bay.
to learn to swim, and it was a great time. And now when I look, it's not so great. And this has been coming through the years. It's not been maintained, is my understanding. And also that there was a problem getting lifeguards last year. And I wasn't sure about that, But anyway, it's just not sustainable. I don't know what we can do, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back in 2009, there was the previous commissioners, a couple commissioners around that committee that voted to keep it open with no additional money spent for just maintenance only, nothing major. Since then, we've had major issues, and some of them are not repairable. You can't find parts for some of this stuff. Leaks are leaking through the cracks in the walls. There's pipes underneath the pool that are leaking. When we fill the pool, a lot of the water leaks underneath the pool. We've got hollowness spots at the end of the pool, underneath the pool. And I'm afraid the kids might put their fingers in these cracks. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Plus the mechanicals, you can't find parts for no more. There's flanges in there that are 1 inch thick. They're less than a 1/4 inch thick now because of all the chlorine, of all the less maintenance that has been done in all these years. So me, as a new commissioner, I look at this, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna cost millions. It wasn't my fault. I didn't vote on it back in 2009 not to put any money into it. But that commission did, and nothing's been done for all these years. So I'm looking at this, I say, I'm looking out for the taxpayers as a whole. How much money can we invest for 8 to 10 weeks a year outside? 2, 6 million? That's what it's gonna cost roughly. I mean, Million's got a pool. They're putting $3.5 million into it outside, but that's only 25 years old. We have a 50-year-old pool beyond the life use of any outdoor pool. I admit it was neglected for many years, but I'm looking out for the best interest for taxpayers on money-wise. Is it worth going $6 million for 8 to 10 weeks a year? Or right now, we are looking at other avenues that we can utilize, maybe the school's pools in the summertime, maybe the Y, to do this swim lessons and that. So we're already in talks with the Y. So that's all I have to say.
The solution is worse than the problem.
Sorry, excuse me, we have public comment. Do we want to hear from Kristen Gignac, Merritt? So we have a person who is our building and grounds person. She's been here several years. She has presented us information that maybe all of you haven't heard, so I'd like her to present it. As it was in the paper, it was pretty accurate in the paper. I got to say thank you to them for doing that. So is that okay if we let Kristen speak here? Sure. Thank you.
Okay, just to recap, the community center pool is a 50-year-old outdoor pool with the original structure and the original mechanics. As you've heard today, it's been a wonderful addition to our community over the past 50 years, and along with many supporters, myself included, I have a heart in recreation, and I know the value of a community asset like this. But what we are facing right now is a multitude of issues. We are facing a combination of structural issues, mechanical issues, supply issues due to the age of the infrastructure. We are far too close to safety issues for comfort, and couple all of these issues with low usage. Over the last 5 years, the pool has seen anywhere from 2,900 to 4,100 guests total in the summer. As you may recall, the board considered closure of the pool back in 2009, as Commissioner stated. They cited many of the same concerns, but also low usage. There was low usage back then too. Due to the public concern, the board ultimately decided to keep it open as long as possible without any significant capital investment, and we made it 13 seasons after that. Budgetary estimates from a Michigan-based pool company put our structural repairs at about $2 million, and a full and complete replacement of the pool in the exact footprint that we have right now would cost somewhere between $5 and $6 million. Based on the situation we are facing with structural and mechanical issues, the exorbitant cost to repair or replace, coupled with low usage and the ability to only use this asset 8 to 9 weeks a year, it is my recommendation to close and remove the community center pool. It is my opinion that this is the most appropriate course of action given the current circumstances. But I am the first to recognize that this decision is hard and it's unpopular. I know the immense value of recreational opportunities for our families and for our communities. I understand the love that the people here have for the pool and for the space. I get it, I do. The pool has served our community well for the past 50 years, and we feel really honored to been able to provide that.
Mr. Poyer?
Yes, I'd like to add, I took a tour of the pool, and it definitely needs repair. My concern is the safety. My concern is the money that it's going to cost, to keep the pool open, even if we are able to get the parts, get the materials, and things that we need in order to get that pool safe and operational. So I can't justify us taking that risk, and that's why I'm voting no.
I too took a tour last year. I'm not naive. It's not going to be an easy fix, but our community deserves better.
Mr. Harry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Third time.
Oh, I can't believe I'm talking again. I just think, the people, these are the people, I said this before, this is the community, they're the people who pay the taxes. It's not, and we're supposed to do what they want to do, not what we want to do. And I've toured the facility. I think that, it could run for, even if it was running for a year, and if this other committee that they have out here wants to work with the county and look for, if they get, they're pretty reasonable people, most of everybody here. But, maybe if they want to pursue a millage, and if people voted it down, so be it. They'll have a voice. Right now, we're taking their voice away, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Maybe if you four can, I'm not going to do it.
Don't need the bridges.
Any more comments from the commissioners? Kathy?
I have not heard from one constituent of mine from 6 townships.
Yeah.
They're northern, they're all northern. And have not heard anything. I haven't gotten any calls or anything.
Well, can I say, I'm in the 4th district, and that's the entire west side of Bay City and part of Bangor Township. My phone has been blowing up. So I'm representing them. They're who put me in office. And after all this discussion, and yes, I toured the facility too. I spent a lot of time with Kristen and the other commissioners. And yes, it needs a lot of work, but the people who put me here is who I'm representing, and I have to vote no, not to close it.
Any more comments? My turn. So we listened to our experts. It's a 50-year-old pool. When your car gets old and it's not running anymore, you don't keep pouring parts into it. That's what we're doing, and we're going to keep doing it. The pool is going to be dangerous. There could be liability issues if we open that pool and someone gets hurt. And we've had all this comment about the pool. Our insurance agents are going to say you shouldn't have opened the pool. So I don't think pushing it down the road is going to do any good. A millage, slim to none. They took a poll about the bridge pole, and that didn't fly too. It wasn't very popular in the preliminary polling. So I don't think a millage would pass. It's going to cost a lot of money. Now, there are some other things we've got planned. We do have a summer recreation program. A lot of you have been to the summer recreation program. I think one of the speakers mentioned it. So that's still going to be going on. There'll be other activities there. We just refinished the floor of the gym a few years ago. So that's been fixed up. So we've been doing work in the community center. We have pickleball in there. We have classes for senior citizens. We have the Senior Citizens Activity Center. We have the Meals on Wheels over there. We have an ice arena that's year-round. We use that year-round. We just had an event there. They made lots of money on the concessions. We've got the community center. We've got other facilities. We've got the golf course. So it's not that we don't have anything. Midland is struggling. Some people have talked about grants. The one grant somebody talked about is a restricted grant and very hard to get. I believe Midland was turned down on that grant. So there's not a lot of grant money up there. Our ARPA money, there's not enough ARPA money that we have left to pay for the pool. So it's a hard decision. I've been a lifelong resident. We like to keep the quality of life here. I tried to get the baseball stadium to come over here. That didn't work out, unfortunately, but we did get a Y. We have a Y, and we are working on some funding, some funding for people to use the Y if we can work it out, or some of the other pools in the area. It's only 8 weeks. I mean, that's not very long. We don't have lifeguards. We didn't open last year. So, yes, I know. So I could go on and on and on, but I'm sure there's going to be pushback on everything I say. So.
Employees, you should not listen to your employees and citizens, and you're listening to employees. That's terrible, absolutely terrible.
Okay, so at this point, we're not in public comment at this point. If there's no more comments from the commissioners, we're going to take a roll call vote.
Millet?
I'm voting no.
Herrick?
You're voting no.
So, the community, no.
Radke?
No.
Poyer?
Yes.
Nemec?
Yes.
Benajak?
Yes.
Begic?
Yes.
4 yeas, 3 nays, motion passes.
All right, so moving on.
Resolution number 2023-38, MMRMA, Rectify Cybersecurity Vulnerabilities Grant. I move to approve the resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Resolution number 2023-39, payables.
Who's that resolution?
I move to approve the resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We go to Personnel and Human Services. Ms. Nemec.
Thank you. Resolution number 2023-40-2023, Discovery Reserve Partnership Agreement with Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy, Recreation and Facilities. I move to approve this resolution.
No, you support.
Discussion. So I just want to make a point. It is preserve versus a reserve.
I'm sorry.
That was my proofreading. That's my fault.
Okay.
So it's a preserve.
Preserve.
By the way, that is a recreational facility for people to go out and take a nice walk over there on Euclid. So we do have some walking areas. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Support.
Oh, sorry, Kath. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-41, vacancies at 911, Central Dispatch, Department on Aging, Community Center, Buildings and Grounds, the Sheriff, the Finance, and Personnel. I move to approve this resolution.
Support. Discussion?
So what's going on with the juvenile home?
I guess that would be a question for Kristen? Or no, personnel? Personnel.
I have not received any questions from anybody about the account.
So where did it go?
Did you hear from?
I got all the information.
Oh.
But it's on for next month's agenda.
Oh, okay, that's the answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should just ask me.
All right, so we have Board of Commissioners.
No, we got to vote on that.
Got to vote on it.
We have to vote.
Oh, yes, we got to vote. Keep forth. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry.
That's all right.
Now we got the Board of Commissioners.
No, thank you. Resolution number 2023-42, the settlement agreement with Allergen, Teva, CVS, and Walmart for the global opioid litigation. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. I would ask Heather maybe just to give a brief overview of the settlement and what's happening.
We've been involved in the opioid litigation since 2017. There was an initial settlement against some manufacturers in 2021. We were involved in that settlement, and Bay County was allotted $3.6 million to be used for opioid education, treatment, and we've started to receive the funds from that first round of settlement. This agenda item is for approval of the second rounds of settlement, which is with Teva, Allergan, CVS, and Walmart. How the settlement is structured, there's the settlement with the manufacturers and the pharmacies, and then the state of Michigan is going to be the distributor of those monies. If all of the subdivisions sign on to the distribution agreement, then your county township would receive an increased share. So Bay County, if they sign on to the settlement agreements and the distribution agreements, are likely to receive an additional $2.1 million to be used for opioid-led education, treatment, and remediation. So we work with outside counsel very closely on this. They represent municipalities throughout the country, and it's their recommendation that we participate in this agreement to bring more money to Bay County for this purpose. So that's my recommendation to the board for authority to sign into these settlement agreements.
Any other comments? I would point out that we were early on in this process. We signed on quickly, so we are getting more money. Mr. Barsha.
Yeah, we didn't actually sign on, Mr. Chair. I initiated, and with the county board's support, we filed a racketeering and organized crime lawsuit against Big Pharma and the distributors of opioids that knew pretty well, they should have known, and the pharmaceutical companies and manufacturers certainly knew that opioids were highly addictive, but they deliberately said they weren't. They rewarded physicians who wrote multiple scripts, in the thousands of scripts of opioids, and the lead organization was the County Executives of America. I'm on the board of directors, and we affiliated with Motley Rice in New York City, the law firm that settled the tobacco revenue for all of the damage that smoking tobacco products caused. And so we're ahead of the other municipalities in Michigan across the state, the other counties and cities. I see Saginaw is just signing on now, but we're actually separate, so we're receiving a much higher proportion of funding than others that are just signing on now, because we received a favorable consideration in the federal court in Ohio. And just point out that in Michigan, we have pretty much absolute immunity for pharmaceutical companies. So the national settlement will help with some of the local units. And the Attorney General, they came to the table very late, but they will be getting a large sum of money to distribute. So, but we were out front in 2017, and Amber and of course Heather worked on, and all of our department heads that gathered all the information on the impact that the opioid crisis caused to our residents here in Bay County, our law enforcement, our medical providers, the health department, and others. It was an awful lot, hundreds and hundreds of hours of work that went into it. But we're way ahead of everybody else, and just received a $700,000 check. Again, that to those in the audience, that money will have to be spent on, as Heather just pointed out, basically prevention and treatment. 85% of that money will go into prevention and treatment of substance abuse, particularly with emphasis on opioids and fentanyl. So just that is way of background.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution number 2023-43, honoring the Michigan Association of Counties, MAC, on its 125th anniversary. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? I'm on the MAC board, and we're happy to be honored. I'll make sure I get them the resolution sometime. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution number 2023-44, program name change to Gypsy Moth Suppression Program to Bay County Forest Sustainability Program. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? I don't know if Mr. Barsha would like to comment on the name change, or?
Yes, it's been recommended from the federal authorities, and I know, is Laura here? Oh, yeah. If you would like to give a little more background, basically The name has been changed as a result of sensitivities toward people from Lithuania and Romania who in the past have been referred to themselves as gypsies or nomads. So it's become, and also it does include more than gypsy moths, as Laura will explain. It would be also, the various insects that infest our trees here in Bay County. So Laura, would you want to go into a little more depth on the explanation?
You covered it really well. The actual insect itself has changed. The name has changed from gypsy moth to spongy moth. But more than that, instead of just changing the program name to that, the program has always worked on much more than the one defoliating pest. We have a millage that guides the activities, and it's about damaging defoliating pests and it's occurring all over the nation. In fact, we have more injuries and death from these dead trees that are killed as a result of these defoliating insects than you'd be surprised how many deaths we get, even in Bay County, from the trees, ash trees that are dying. The program, it was consistent with the millage language. Program staff are here. The program manager, Jeremy Lowell, is here, and Carter Rogers is here. They worked extensively, did a lot of public outreach. We didn't just do this in a vacuum, and that was settled on a name that was representative of what the work is.
Okay. Any questions? Otherwise, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-45, Bay County Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Certifier Agreement and the BASWA appointment. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? I think I might ask Ms. Laura Ogar to come back up again to talk about this one.
Sure.
Thank you.
So this is what's known as like the rainfall permitting, stormwater, rain, snow melt that falls on land, parking lots, facilities that have oil and gas in the parking lots. Bay County does have a number of facilities such as that, our mosquito control, some of our maintenance garages, fairgrounds, and we are a regulated entity, and we are required to have a national discharge permit for that stormwater that runs off those facilities. It's to protect the surface water, the Saginaw Bay that everything runs to, and as a urbanized area, it's Bay County. The Road Commission has all of their drains, their roads, and Hampton Township is involved. That's a regulated entity as well. Monitor Township, some of our school districts, Essexville, the city of Essexville. And so it is the authority formed for the urbanized areas to kind of share the work so that not each of us have to do our own project, but in fact, we can actually share some of the work, the investigative work, the promotion, the education components. And so this is what the authority does, and right now we have a deadline that we're facing of April 4th to get this federal permit in and submitted, or we will be in violation of federal Clean Water Act laws. That's the bottom line.
Any questions, Ms. Ogar? Otherwise, I guess we'll call the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2023-46, Board of Commissioners Office Typist Clerk 2, hired at 2-year rate.
Support.
I move this resolution. Supported.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-47, reports of the county executive for February. I move this resolution.
All right.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-48, virtual backlog response docket grant award from Bay County Courts. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have one extra.
Ms. Heather, do I need to just make this a resolution to move the meeting, or is it just a motion? To where we're going to combine our meetings in April to two of them in 1 week? Does it have to be a resolution?
Yeah, I think it needs
No, I think you can make a motion for that.
Okay, I was just going to make a motion that we move the April 4th Ways and Means to combine it with the personnel meeting on April 11th. I'm going to move that.
Yeah.
Support.
Any discussion? We got a lot of people gone at that time, so. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That is all from the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you very much. We have the county executive consent of appointments to Bay County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just say that, 2 years ago, we passed the Brownfield Redevelopment Act and adopted that here in Bay County to help repurpose what is contaminated sites that could be the home of a future business. And it's, a very important program. I know Laura has taken the lead on it in the past, and we did reach out, and I've talked to township officials primarily who are interested in this. We do have an upcoming Brownfield site to meet quickly on, and so these are, I think, all outstanding appointments, Mr. Chair. I mentioned, hopefully the commissioners can see in the packet here, the people that indicated an interest by communicating with us. And
Page 77.
the first project is in Monitor Township, and we have 5 representatives from Monitor Township, including yourself, Mr. Chair. So they're all good people that bring expertise and knowledge to the effort, and I think it will help expand our property tax base in Michigan, as well as create economic opportunities and jobs for Bay County residents and the region. So hopefully the board will approve my appointments to the redevelopment.
Motion to approve. Receive and concur. Support. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, so we added something new here. We have commissioner comments. You don't have to say anything. I know I go to a lot of township meetings, and they have that, and sometimes it drags on the meeting a little longer. Sorry about that, townships, but anybody have any further comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say, since I've been a commissioner, my 3rd month, I've been attending all the township meetings in Hampton and Merritt and Essexville.
Yeah.
And that's been enlightening as far as what's going on in those communities.
Yeah.
And so I've been enjoying that and have an opportunity to go out and meet the people in my district. So
Yeah. It's a good thing to go out and see the people in the townships and the cities. So, thank you. Any other comments? Unfinished business. New business. We have public input. This is new. We hadn't had it before, but we have another opportunity for public input. It is 5:30, but we have all night. Go ahead.
I just wanted to take a moment. My name's Rob Pellerito. I am the district director for State Senator Michelle Hoytinga, and I cover 16 counties, and I believe it only impacts one of your districts, District 1 here in Bay County. But it's a pleasure to attend your meeting. The 36th Senate District does go from Manistee County on up to Presque Isle down here to the northern part of Bay. So you're not the last, but it is a big district for me to cover. One of a few senators that actually have in-district people covering. So please reach out to me or our office in Lansing. I'd be happy to assist you in any way. Thank you.
So that's Representative Hoyt, or is that Senator? Senator Hoytinga, yes.
16 counties. Yeah.
Mr. Kraus.
Oh, well, I said I wasn't going to say anything about the pool. I'm Brian Kraus. I spent my whole life advocating for people. I started out with a handicap, worked for the American Cancer Society for 10 years, so I still advocate for cancer patients. Now I'm at Habitat for Humanity. Growing up, a lot of us had stay-at-home parents that could take us to the bay or maybe take us somewhere to go swimming. You know, now it's Alice families and it's low-income families. Bay City right here has 49% poverty. Bay County has 34%, so that makes it even lower if you add Bay City in there. So, you know, for you to just say, well, we can go to the beach, we can go to the bay or whatever. No, you can't. These people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to survive right now, to put food on their table. So, and when I was a kid, I could get on my bike and I could ride to the community center and go use that pool, or whatever the case is. You know what, and, you know, I hate to be this guy, I hate to, you know, I usually, especially being involved where I am, I don't like to do this, but, you know, this is a gem in our community. $6 million, I mean, if it was $6 million, you're saying $6 million for a brand new pool. You're saying $2 million to get it fixed. There's a lot of programs I've seen over the years here that spend that kind of money and don't do anything, you know, that don't do this type of thing for kids. So you complain about these kids that are walking around and stealing stuff out of cars and they're doing all this stuff and they're getting out and doing stuff. This is a place, yeah, last 5 years, okay, it's down, but you know why it's down? 3 years of COVID? I mean, you can't say that. Nobody's been out and doing anything in the last 3 years. So, I apologize that I've come up kind of, you know, but I just need to get my voice out there that I'm advocating for our families, my Habitat families. You know, they are working every day. Their moms and dads are working, or their single parents are working, so they can't do that. They got a school bus that drops them off. You know, they can get over to the community center, especially in the city. But I guess that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Campbell.
I guess I'll say something about the pool, which, you know, the American Legion is greatly supported and paid for the free summer swim program at the pool. But I'm going to go back a few years. When I was a kid, we used to go to Central, and my parents, we'd ride a bus from Linwood, and I had a single parent. We'd go over there, we would learn how to swim. Cost my mom somewhere 15 to 20 bucks back then. It's a long time ago. But then when that pool was taken out, we started going over where Handy Wildcats. Well, then that pool didn't offer that anymore. So then St. Anne's put together a program, and we went over to the YWCA, and it was 30 bucks a week. You hopped the bus, you went to town. That's how we learned to swim, because my father's a maritime family, 43 years on the Merchant Marine, coming up and down this river. But we, instead of all the negativity about we have to tear the pool out, how about positivity that what will we do for the kids? If people want this pool this bad, then raise $6 million. It's that simple. But if you can't raise $6 million, you've got to use the resources in the community. John Glenn has a pool. The Y has a pool. My grandkids go to the Y. Now, some people say, but people can't afford that. The Y has grant programs. And since the county is looking into options that can possibly help for these disadvantaged families, you know, I was a single dad raising kids. You ready for the big kicker? When we went to the pool, we went to Midland. We did not go to the Bay City pool. And you can ask the Boy Scouts in Linwood, Troop 131. Those kids went swimming all winter long. Once a month, we drove those kids over there. They enjoyed the lap pool. They enjoyed the general public pool. The center had so much to offer that we didn't offer here. The kids that wanted to swim laps couldn't swim laps here because we had a single pool, and it was more of a recreational pool versus scheduled classes. So those are the kind of things we really have to look at. How can we make it better? I lived in a community out in New York. The pool held 3,000 people. They built it between two mountains. You know why? It was the only land they had to build it, Bear Mountain, the Bear Mountain Recreational Center. And they raised the revenue. So versus getting all upset that we're going to close a pool, form a committee and build a pool. And build it so that people do want to come. And then you have thousands of people, and that's where you make the difference versus where it's dwindled, and I've watched it because I've levied for money from the Legion so that kids could go swimming for free. It's just what we have to do because times have changed. So we can make it better or we can complain. Personally, proactive versus reactive.
Thank you.
I understand now we can come back up for seconds.
Sure. Yep.
The comment was made that you have to look out for the taxpayers, and I appreciate that as a taxpayer. But the kids who swim in that pool are our future taxpayers. To keep them here and pay tax to our communities, this is something that will retain them because they'll have happy memories here of things that they got to do. And they'll tell their kids about those memories, and those kids will be able to enjoy the same things. A millage was mentioned and believed wouldn't pass. Based on the 2021 census, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I have the number in my phone here. It was just over 102,000 residents of Bay County. At the high end was $6 million for a rebuild or new pool. It's less than $60 a person. Over time, it's not that much. Lastly, thank you to the Legion for providing free swimming to so many kids. Going off of that, we don't have a wealthy population in Bay County, and I've participated in a variety of sports my entire life, and swimming is one of those things that doesn't cost a lot for a family to get their children involved in. They don't have ice skates for hockey, they don't have expensive tennis rackets, they don't have expensive running shoes. Here's a pair of shorts, go enjoy the water and possibly pick up a new skill and something that you enjoy. So just 3 points that I wanted to make based on some of the other comments that were made this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments?
Okay, so my name is Morgan Weiss. I live in Monitor Township, and I have also been swimming at the community center since I was 7. I live in a subdivision. My parents are both nurses, so they were not home all the time. So one of the neighbors was a stay-at-home, or he was a teacher, so he was home during the summer. So he took all of us neighborhood kids, dropped us off at summer camp for the day, picked us back up. As I got into competitive swimming, then I would ride my bike if I didn't have a ride to practice every morning, leave my grandma's ice cream shop where I worked until I was 16 to go back to practice at night. Like, my whole life in the summer revolved around that pool. I was friends with the lifeguards. Many of us were offered jobs as lifeguards there. We all became lifeguard certified because what else would you do when you're a swimmer and you're gonna swim is your world, swim is your life. And then last summer, we're facing the issues of no lifeguards. Well, I find that hard to believe. Like, none of these club teams were reached out to. The club team in Midland, for reference, I also coached for Bays for a little bit too. So I had that relationship with the Midland team. They were turning their lifeguards down. She simply did not have enough positions to staff all the lifeguards, all the kids that she wanted to employ. Well, we could have easily taken them here. If you can drive, you can get here. You have a job. We didn't offer that. That wasn't an option. Swimming as a whole, like Holly had said before, swimming and water safety is something that I will forever stand by. I'm in nursing school. I graduate in May. You know, swimming is a low impact thing that people of all ages can do. You're never too old to stand and do some leg pumps or get some exercise in of some sort. It's a lot easier on the body than walking and running for most people. But I also wanted to sign up to do ISR, which is Infant Swimming Resource, which I was too young to do at the time, but another amazing resource for swimming. But you have to have a pool to do that, obviously. But those are all things like these lessons, the coaching, the swim teams, the programs. Those are invaluable resources to our community. With the whole drowning statistics that Holly provided, you cannot, swimming is a life skill that will never fail you. You can never be too good of a swimmer. And people who don't know how to swim are at a humongous disadvantage. And to say, like, go swim in the bay. You don't learn to swim in the bay. You learn to drown in the bay. You need a safe, controlled environment in order to learn how to swim. And most of us learned how to swim in a pool because our parents took us there. Our parents prioritized swimming. Then there's free Thursdays at the community center. Maybe their parents can't take them, but someone can, and they're prioritizing swimming, getting exposure. But it's not just young kids either. It's everyone. Swimming is a life skill that will never fail you. And it just seems so unfair that so much of our dynamic as a whole, as a city, we rely on these pools. Go to the Y. Well, the Y is packed. Quite frankly, like, the Y is packed. Yeah, we can have like programs to get there, but it's not the same. Who wants to be inside in Michigan in the summer? Same with Delta College. It's there, and I'm glad that it's there for the winter, and I'm glad that the Y is there for the winter as well. But nobody, like you guys said, there's 3 county pools. Nobody has that to offer us like we do, and we're gonna just fill it and do nothing? Like, that just seems, we already closed the country club. We already, like, the Saginaw swim program as a whole has shut down. We almost lost Bays. That almost shut down. Where do you want kids to learn to swim? Where do you want kids to do stuff outside of swim? I have babysat since I was 12 years old, and everyone always says now, like, keep your youth. Like, we want kids to be kids. Well, kids now are like this. And kids now don't have the resources. Kids now would never ride their bike to swim practice because it's probably, they don't have swim practice, to be honest, but they just don't have the same resources that we had. And like you guys are talking about when you guys were kids, and that was a lot longer ago than when I was a kid, when that was 10 years ago, and I still live with my parents, and I'm 23. Like, that wasn't that long ago for me. And the resources for kids now, like, every single parent I know is like, where can I take my kids? What can I do? Well, you can go to the Y. Well, family pass is like, I don't know, kind of expensive. And I get it, there's low income things, but it's just not feasible. In the summer, you listed all these things that we have to offer. Not one of them was a pool. We rely on the Y, but we have like, what, 102,000 people? That's all we got? Like, it's not enough. And we should be prioritizing health and its whole. That's okay. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Thank you. Any more public comments?
Good evening. It was afternoon. Good evening, Commission. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Mike Darby. I was the swim coach at John Glenn and a longtime teacher in Bangor Township. I retired, was able to get a job at Saginaw Valley. I'm the assistant swim coach at Saginaw Valley. And the reason I mention that is because I have the luxury of leading such outstanding individuals, men and women from across this country, and many international students as well. Last year we were able to partnership Saginaw Valley and the Bay City Aquatic Club. We had a team together, and they got the opportunity to come to Bay City and swim outdoors, and they were in shock. I mean, I'm talking, I have kids from Brazil, Spain, Hungary, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, kids from all across the globe, as well as all across the country. They could not believe how beautiful our pool was. They could not believe what an asset was to their community. They all said, we don't have anything like this. And we were so excited to show it off. And we knew we had a little bit of problems last year, the lifeguard shortage, which right there is a lifeguard certified teacher who offered last year to do that free of charge, and nobody took him up on it, by the way. So that issue is not an issue for us. I do have some notes I want to talk about, and I do want to apologize directly to Commissioner Bonanzac. You're my boy, we're friends, we're going to be friends after this. We disagree, but that's what people do, right? And I've blown up his phone, like you got your phone blown up, but you're wrong. Tim, you're wrong. You just started, and you're taking all this whatever information people are giving you. You told me yesterday, or Thursday, excuse me, that we don't qualify for the Spark Grant. We do. Who's telling you this stuff? Is it her? We got emails from someone, somebody from the county. Yes, it does. Recreation outdoor pools do qualify for Spark Grants. So you're wrong. The information you're getting. Tim, you told me for 10 years, someone has sat at the community center and asked every kid that walked in what their zip code is. That's wrong. There's been no one there. I've worked there. I've been there. All right? No one. We don't have any money to have somebody stand there and ask kids what their zip code is. Kids don't even know their zip code. Then you said majority of those kids were from Saginaw. I'd be very careful to go to those type of comments. All right? One reason is, I learned a long time ago at John Glenn High School in a business class, the term lost leader. We may have to lose a little bit of money here to get something over here, bringing more residents into our community, keeping the residents, keeping the youth like Morgan just talked about. That cycle cannot stop. And all of these little pieces keep people in our community. I just have a few more things that I wrote down. I wanted to make sure. I am a little nervous. I am very, very emotional, so I apologize. The numbers. We talked about the numbers of the pool. Yes, they are down. Has anybody heard of COVID? Okay, we closed the pool. It was slow to get people to come back. There's still people that don't go back to work. There's families that are not excited about going to a public place, but that will come back if we have the programs. In Midland, they have such neat ideas where at the end of the seasons, everybody can take their dog and they can go in the pool with their dog. At nights, they have special times for just adults, for adult lap swim. They have special times during the day for just youth. And we just didn't do that. That's why our numbers are low. We don't have the person in charge at the community center who is out there actively trying to be a leader and get the pool usage up. We heard every excuse in the book on Thursday. Every excuse. Sorry, I don't mean to point. Sorry.
Yeah, no point.
I never heard one person want to lead. Every excuse was from an ender. Everybody wants it to end. You're our leaders. We vote for you. Listen to us. From what I understand, you voted to not open the pool. That was the resolution. Is that correct?
Right.
That doesn't mean it's over. Please let the community have a shot. Let us have a chance. I don't have $6 million in my pocket. I don't believe that number either. But when we get a real pool company up here to give us a bid, we will have some definite numbers. Something for us to look at. Then we can go and go, okay, we need $4 million. What are we going to do? Give us a shot. Thanks.
Any other comments? There we go.
Hello, my name is Bob LaRock. I've been a lifelong resident of Bay County. I live in Bangor Township. I also teach and coach at John Glenn High School. I've been both an athlete, a coach at the Bay County Community Center. I've been a swim instructor. I'm a lifeguard instructor. Being around the pool, being in the water is a part of my life. The people that are here supporting this have all been a part of my life, and I wouldn't be where I am at today without them, without the pool, and without the opportunities that I've had. I'm very disappointed in hearing the lack of effort to try to save our pool for our community. It's embarrassing to hear that for 10 years, we're just going to see what happens to the pool, and we're not putting any effort to it to try to keep it up, to try to maintain what we have so that we have this gem in our community. You know, the lack of effort to secure funding, to look for grants, to look for opportunities, you know, and the lack of leadership in running our community center. When I was a kid going to swim practice, that pool was packed. There were adults, there were kids, and it was open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. from morning to night, and filled with kids and filled with people from our community. As years go on, leadership changes, costs change, we started charging more. Our community that we serve cannot afford to pay $5 every day to go swim. You know, we might have to charge a little bit less to pack the place, but it's going to make a difference by getting more people into the pool. Currently, I coach at John Glenn High School, Krista McAuliffe. I coach for the Bay City Aquatics Club. I'm there in the summer still now, today. I'm also a lifeguard instructor, and I've offered to help get lifeguards. There's kids out there that want jobs, so that's merely an excuse not to have, not to have it open. We are a community that lives on the water, beyond the swim lessons and beyond not beyond the swim lessons, beyond the swim team. It's an opportunity for water safety, and that's our priority when we live on the water. It's an opportunity for adults to get water exercise. It's for kids to swim. It's a place for adults and kids to have some recreation opportunities. We've had events with the swim club where we bring people in from across the state, hundreds of people, to see what we have here in Bay County. Now we don't have that opportunity if we continue on this path. The community center pool, yes, it has maintenance issues. Steve, the guy that's running, and his maintenance crew do their darndest to keep it up and maintain it so that we do have those opportunities. They've been putting a Band-Aid on something that the county hasn't been able to do. When have we put significant amount of money into the pool to try to upkeep it? Why are we not maintaining the things that we have in this county instead of just letting them kind of phase out? We need leadership. This is a missed opportunity. We need leadership that's dynamic, that's forward-thinking, that's going to take our community forward, give more creative programs for our community, and bring these people back to the pool so they have a place to use in the summer and outside of the summer. That place could be packed both indoors, outdoors, year-round. And so it's a missed opportunity. I hope we revisit it and move things forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments? Any more comments?
Good evening, Brian Taylor. I'm a Bangor Township trustee, and I totally understand the economics of what you guys have been through. Tonight, you are taking on a challenge of some of you with being new that hasn't been done perhaps in a positive way towards this. I only urge you tonight that whatever money was going towards it, if it's closed, keep that money maybe put aside. Consider if they can match that money or if you can find a way to reopen it. Maybe after a year realizing, hey, we really needed that. Don't fill it in. By all means, don't sell it to the National Guard. Just keep it locked up. Keep some possibilities open, and then perhaps down the line, if you put away some of that money, it might be something you can do again. So that's all I urge you, and good luck.
Any more comments? I'm going to go quick. Any more comments?
I didn't say it earlier. I just want to say, the thing I didn't understand that really got me upset about this whole thing was the fact that you could not even vote to table it. I mean, the pool's not going to open for another 3 months anyway, right? Okay. So, just to give I've been to a lot of political things and stuff. There was not one negative comment out here that said to close the pool. Every person here, the full room, was all positive. So I just don't understand how you can't just say, okay, let's table it. Let's give them a couple months to see what you can do. Food for thought. I run Bay County Habitat by myself. I'm a one-man operation. In the last 3 years, I've put over $600,000 from all the way from Bentley roads, everywhere in this county, to help people out. I've got about 10% of that from the federal government. Everything else I raised myself. So for you to say that they can't raise that money, I think it's crazy, because I raised 10% of that to help these families that in need. So that's all I want to do. I just wanted to let you know that I don't think it would have been a problem to table it. It wouldn't have made a difference. And that's all I got to say, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Any more comments? Any more comments? Number three. Comments are closed. I have a miscellaneous, unless anybody else have a miscellaneous comment or a comment. Mr. Harry.
Request. would my request through you would be, would anybody in administration want to meet with maybe Mr. Darby or a group, whoever the group is, and I don't know, and to explore any options they might have, to see if they, even if we say it's closed down, to see that they have an idea, to give them a little time to come up with something. Would you really direct administration for that?
Sure. Show me the money.
Well, that's the part, but they need somebody to meet with. They can't just...
There's a lot of plans out there. There's a lot of ideas. Hopefully we got some community energy. It doesn't have to be a public entity. It can be a private entity that can do it also, or a public-private combination.
But would somebody from staff meet with them is my question.
We have met with them. I don't know if Chris is willing to meet.
And the people that were there, including Mike, refused to look at the pool or the infrastructure underneath the pool. And for especially the commissioner, there's a prohibition on federal art use for pools, as well as we've contacted Congressman Kildee for community project funding. This past year, we got $3 million. $1 million for the Sheriff's Department, $2 million for the new Health Services building, serve the residents of Bay County. However, under community project funding, we've asked for $1 million to consider repurposing it like a splash park. But there is a prohibition, I believe, on splash parks and pools using federal money to build either one of those. There is a Spark grant, Midland applied for it, and they were turned down flat. And you have to agree to maintain the pool or to keep the pool operational for 20 years. But
I don't think that's what they're asking, but they're not money just to sit down. I don't think you were asking.
Well, we have. No. And then about 2 years ago, we met with philanthropists from throughout Bay County, and Kristen got some estimates on an indoor pool that would be available instead of 8 weeks a year, all year round, because I'm a former swimmer and I know where you're coming from. I love swimming, and pools are a great thing, great social asset for any community. However, I think the two bids that we got to do something similar to Midland be $70 million and $77 million. As soon as we mentioned that price, the people that we were approaching to see if we could raise that much money in the community, support kind of just drifted away and melted away. It's just too expensive of a project to take on, at least for the people that were involved in the Y. We've talked to the Y, and they're not interested. At least I know some of our commissioners belong to the Y, thinking about taking it up with the board of directors. Bay County would be happy to pay for any young person that wants to use the indoor pool. That's why I realize it's not outdoors. People prefer outdoor swimming, but and the sun and sunbathing especially, so but they've indicated to us they're not interested in sharing their pool with members of the public that are not dues paying members of the YMCA. So I hope I'm not misspeaking, but that I believe was the people that I spoke to. That's what they indicated to me. We haven't gone to the board of directors. Also, we've reached out to Garber, Essexville, Hampton. They would welcome the use of their pool if we'd pay $10,000 or whatever for all of the competitive swimmers, either at Western High School or Essexville Garber or John Glenn or Saginaw Valley for that. I'm an SVSU alum. And the facilities they have out there are incredible. And they do, as Mike said, they draw people from around the world to compete. Beautiful pools, but they're very expensive. One of the executives at the Y told me if they were designing the Y today, they would not have put a pool in. It's just too expensive. It's 10 years old, and it's very difficult to maintain, and they're already looking at having to spend large sums of money to upgrade the pool, if that's the case. But just know, too, that also I think the community center, I know Deanne is here, and she may remember she had a longevity. She started when she was very young. But the community center opened in 1973, and then the basement, there's a double shovel, one for the city of Bay City and one for Bay County. And I believe somewhere around 1976, the city pulled out. It was too expensive for the city budget. So, but Commissioner Nijinsky, if you're if you can bring some money to the table, we'd certainly welcome it. If we could split it 3 million and 3 million, that might be, it's up to the board. I don't have the role of appropriating money. However, we can continue to discuss it. It's very painful and very sad to have to close the community center pool. I never swam there, but I've known hundreds who have, and who have very fond memories of it. But it's very expensive, I think the structure on the pool itself is $2 million. The walls are collapsing and falling into the bottom of the pool. We talked about lifeguards. We have some here. They're 15 and 16-year-old, students that are lifeguards. And, if we have a tragedy, it's been very difficult. I know people said we've got all the lifeguards we need, but that wasn't our experience. It was posted on MLive, it was on television, it was on the radio that we needed lifeguards, and no one applied. So, sort of where we're at. It's very sad, but I don't know if the commission would be open to.
Can I answer?
Sure.
We're getting off track here now. Oh, wait, we can have side discussions. We're willing to meet with anybody out in the lobby or whatever, so.
I just want to, you said I would not go down in the basement. I just want to say, I've been in the basement more than all of you people combined. I've worked there, I've been there, I swam there. I started there in 1976. I worked last summer there. Nobody else did. So I was in the basement. I didn't even see it. I didn't even waste your time. If you took it that I was being rude, I apologize. And I was not being nice, I understand, but I've seen it. I know the rusty pipes. I know the problem. And I told you, Steve's a miracle worker, and Richard Rex was a miracle worker before him. So I apologize if that's how you took it.
Thank you.
No, and the other folks that showed up didn't care to see it. However, I realize, Mike, you've been more extensively involved. Yeah.
Okay, any more comments? Miscellaneous. Announcements. Mr. Ryder, not adjourned yet. I have an announcement.
No, I haven't announced. You can be first.
My announcement is that March 29th is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Being one of those people, we're going to have ceremonies at 6 p.m. on April 2nd at the American Legion Post 18. Any Vietnam vets are invited to attend. We'll be getting some awards or medals. So 6 p.m., April 2nd, American Legion, right next to the library. All Vietnam vets are invited. You had a comment?
This is a family announcement. My grandson, Jack Wetters, was made captain of his football team at All Saints, the varsity football team at All Saints State, which is, it's nice to be a captain. It's even better when you're a sophomore. I mean, so he's
must be good.
He's a great kid, and he deserves it, and maybe he'll watch this on TV, and that's why I said, but he's a wonderful. His brother and sister are wonderful too, but he's the oldest one, so he gets to go first. But it's a great day for him.
We'll be watching for him.
Thank you.
There was an opportunity for someone to make a motion to adjourn if they would so like. Any support? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion passes. Thank you.